Hello and welcome to.
Hey, we don't love this game that's happening right now. Hey, we like your pod, Don. Hey, we like your pod.
Hey, we like your pod, but we don't like this game on Thursday Night Football. But hey, growing pains.
Growing pains, and you know what? Let's just take a breath. Let's just say, it was a bad first half, but so was Sunday. And Don, how about Sunday, huh?
Sunday! And Pape says, hey, and welcome to 27-3.
It is bad.
Yes.
But no, Sunday was awesome because, of course, for those who don't know, who are listening, we actually met in person and saw the Saints game together. And of course, it was an amazing fourth quarter. The first three quarters look like what we're seeing tonight in the game on Thursday Night Football. But oh my goodness, Don, do you remember? I'm sure you do. Do you remember at the end when we got the go ahead score to take the lead at 18, and then when the guy missed the field goal? Oh my goodness!
Oh,
that was great. That was so much fun.
That was so much fun, and even before, but like it was 17-0, not 27.
Hey, but we have some points on the board right now, which we didn't at halftime.
We didn't, and that was really scary. That was really scary. So
yeah, that was bad.
Well, man,
I learned definitely on Sunday not to count this team out, even though they looked bad for a part of a game. We'll see. I mean, I'm not going to stop cheering and believing. And I heard the crowd is booing on the way to halftime here, which you hate to see it. Don't do that, guys.
No,
I understand you're upset, but come on, this is our team.
This is our team. Don't boo.
Yeah.
So welcome, Pepe. Yeah, so we were at the Green Bay game at Lambeau Field, the motherland. Us and our 25 of our closest friends. So much fun. That day was, and this is going to be a very abbreviated episode. And Pappy says 3 isn't that bad. And he's referring to the Charlie Adelson murder trial that's coming up. So
okay, check that out. Yeah, sounds scandalous.
Katie and I have been covering that. Katie and I will be on live tomorrow covering that as per usual. So
speaking of Katie, we saw our friend Katie over the weekend as well. She even stayed with you, right?
That's right. Katie stayed with me, and then we stayed in Green Bay together. Yeah, we had such a great time. My God. Everything was great. It was a perfect weekend. Losing wouldn't have been great, but it was such a perfect weekend. It wouldn't have been. I mean, 70-0 would have been awful.
That would have been rough. If they haven't come alive in the fourth quarter, yeah. That would have been
10, I was like, okay. Or 17-11. I was like, okay, it's respectable at least now. And we're not letting them score. So there's that. And we're at Lambeau, and it was the most beautiful day with the lovely breeze and slightly slightly cloudy, but it was still blue. And so it was just the right temperature, and it was just great. It was so great.
It was awesome.
So how did you like the Wells Brothers pizza?
Yeah, so we got together for pizza in Racine, and this place called Wells Brothers Pizza. It was very good.
Yeah, very different.
Historic pizza place. It's been there for a very long time, right?
Over 100 years. Yes, been written up in the New York Times for being in the top 10 pizza places for the U.S. Not recently, but they have that claim to fame. And yeah, so that's the pizza I grew up on. So I won't eat pizza anywhere else. Like I try, but it's like it's never. Yeah, Katie seems like a party. She is.
She is a party.
She is a party. She is. She's so fun. And yes, I am having a Leinenkugel's summer shandy because I am where this is made, actually. So good crust, proper cheese price, I guess, a good price. It's a very paper thin crust.
But crispy.
And they slide it in and out with cornmeal. And then, just the right amount of sauce and the right amount of, not overly on either, over amount. I don't like too much cheese. I know. And it's the kind of pizza that it's almost delicate, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost
And
delicate.
the pieces were cut very small, which made it easier to handle, because it is like, it could just like be a huge mess if it was a bigger piece, because it'd be hard to like, hold on to and kind of, contain, I guess is what I'm trying to think of. So
that's right. See, that's something I grew up with. So it's like, oh, you don't all cut your pizza like, the pizzas are
so
cut small. Like 1.5 by 1.5 inch square, of course, not pie shaped. And and so I never, when I have the Wells Brother pizza, I usually have like one topping, maybe two, not too many toppings, because it's so thin that, and I like the taste of the sauce. And if you like sausage, their homemade sausage is fantastic. Yes, really Sicilian. It's Sicilian. That's
all
right.
We're going to spend a lot of time talking about pizza here, Don. We only got halftime. We gotta move on.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Fast. Another thing that was fun about the weekend was seeing lots of friends in real life. I got to hang out with Dusty Evely, met Andy Herman and Perry Goldstein in person. Of course, seeing you and Katie in real life was amazing, obviously. And I saw some other friends too, Dan Kotnick, Jason Perrone, who's gonna be on the show very soon. Jacob Westendorf, Kyle Hoffenbecker, Celia Diaz, as much people. And your sister Lori, who's awesome.
I know. Who's in the other room watching football with me
right Lori?
Now. Isn't that crazy?
Say hey for
me. My mom.
So it was an amazing weekend. Oh, and one other thing I want to mention is that the flyover, the jet that flew over at the beginning, the pilot for that was, the captain of the crew that was piloting it is my cousin's husband. So after the game, we met up with him before he got into his airport to fly back to Jacksonville. So we were at the airport where he was coming back to. It's the same airport that the Saints flew out of. So we saw their buses come up and
really?
The plane, which is kind of hilarious. And then also because they were taking longer getting back, the people were waiting for taking longer getting back than we anticipated. We ended up tailgating in the parking lot of this like charter airport. It was kind of crazy. So.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we fed the troops. When they showed up, we gave them what the food was that we had left. So
how cool. That's so nice. I love that. Yeah. So Pappy, we met in real life for the very first time at this pizza place. And then the next day we had seats next to each other at the Green Bay Packer game, the home opener, and they won. And it was crazy. It was a roller coaster of emotions, and what an ending. Wow. Just wow. It was everything. It was so good. So I have one superlative only for tonight, and that is Locked On Packers. And that's because he does, and I forgot what he calls it, the crossover, when they do the Locked On Lions and the Locked On Packers. So I listened to that. I listened to several episodes of different podcasts, but we're just doing one tonight, and that's it. I just really appreciate that Locked On Packers does that on game day or the day before game day, whatever, when they meet, because there's a Locked On for every team in the NFL. But when they play one another, they take the host of each podcast and they do a segment together. So that's really cool. And just listen to what people were predicting. No one predicted the first half would be like this. And no, they didn't on Sunday either, but we'll see what the second half brings and if there are any adjustments. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the kind of crossover thing. I mean, I know that Pax What She Said has done that with like other like women journalists who cover other teams, which is really cool to hear. Justice Mosqueda does that with the weekly podcast Intercepted, where he has like somebody who covers the opponent come and talk, somebody who's like in the same kind of like part of the contentosphere that Justice is in. So usually like really like very talented, very smart people always. I mean, same for Maggie and Perry, to be clear. I'm just really rambly here tonight. Sorry. Sorry, Don. But suffice to say, yes, I love that stuff is what I'm saying. I love that superlative, and I love when people do that. So
it's great. And Pappy asks if either of us have been to Philadelphia for a game.
I have not.
Or any other reason. I have not spent any real time in Philadelphia. New York, Boston, Connecticut, a lot, Maine. I mean, almost everywhere, but not in Pennsylvania either. I mean, not in Pennsylvania in general. So, but I know Philadelphia is a great city. I know someone from there that I used to work with, and we're still friends. She's in Boston now, but great historical city. And Tom Grassi, I know, Pappy, that's not your favorite person in the world, but hey, he did a great segment about Philadelphia.
Yep.
That you might want to check out. So tell us why we should go to Philadelphia, Pappy. So did you bring a superlative tonight?
Yeah, Don, I got 3. I'll just do them real fast here, okay? So the first one was best video once again. This is going to Nathan Marzian. He did another one after this last game, and it was awesome because like the first part of the video is all sadness and black and white and sad music and everything, and then like it kicks into gear because like when the fourth quarter started, and he shows all the highlights and there's hilarious music and like memes and stuff like that. And I mean, it's one of those, you just got to go watch it. It's amazing.
Oh, it's so good. Yes.
Some of his videos we've shouted out this season, it was incredible. So Nathan Marzian, you are some kind of like mix master wizard. It was amazing. That was the first one. Second one, best analogy. So John Meerdink on his podcast Blue 58 compared the Lions, super appropriate here, the Lions to a chimpanzee with a machine gun. He was talking about a thing from one of the Planet of the Apes movies, one of the more recent ones, where like they it's not just like, oh, the chimpanzee has a machine gun. Huh, that sure is silly. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? So it's like that's the Lions, because they're super unpredictable. Like they might just take that machine gun and mow everything down, or they might shoot themselves, or they might just not even notice there's a machine gun and walk away and set it down. Like you don't know what's going to happen. A very unpredictable team, because they have a lot of power to both be amazing or just terrible. So I was literally laughing when John Meerdink unraveled that particular analogy on his episode of Blue 58 from earlier this week. So that was my second one. And Don, my third one was best insight. So Dusty Evely just kind of casually threw out a stream of clips last night. Instead of doing like a full-on like video breakdown or like sitting down with somebody to talk through it, he's just like, here's a clip, I'm gonna give some insight into it, here's another clip, some insight, here's a clip, and it's just like boom 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 boom. So things with like you could kind of take a minute to dig into each one, that like see the little nugget he's pulling out of it, and just pick up a lot of like little bits to further your education. I feel like I always learn stuff when I engage with the stuff that Dusty does. So that was a particularly good one. I really liked it a lot.
Yeah, I like that thread style. That was great. It was like, whoa. I didn't expect that much out of it. And of course, with Dusty, so we should know that we're going to get our money's worth with Dusty. So, a couple more of our fans. Hey, 2D. Yes, I am out and about. And thank you for that. And I'm also helping take care of my mom right now. So I'm really glad that I can do that. I'm very glad. And hello, Lorenzo. It's good to see you. And Pappy Schmears is recommending the Liney Summer Shandy. Katie was so excited to have a Liney Kugel Sunday. So I got it here for her. So So in the meantime, the only other news in my life personally is that, oh, hey, Bill. Nice to see you. Is that my kitty Tosh, who often comes up on this show, is making great friends with my mom's cat, Smokey. And they were just outside catching bugs together. It was grand.
That's adorable.
I know. Thank you. Thank you so much. She needs some of those. I came to visit and I was surprising her, and this became a very acute health problem. It just all happened, and I'm just glad I'm here for it because I can help out. So back to the game. Is it time to go back to our game?
One more minute till it's back on there, kind of like easing the way into it with like the highlights from the first half. So should we hit the closing script here, Dawn?
Yeah, let's close her up.
And
we'll be back with Katie tomorrow.
That's right. Hey, and for the folks who stopped by, thanks so much. Short episode today because it's halftime. We're just hitting the halftime real fast here. So shortest episode we ever did. Friends, of course, you'll find links in our show description for everyone we mentioned. So please check it out. Also, we'd love to have a chance to interview you and shout you out if you're a subscriber and a football fan. If you'd like to nominate someone to be a guest on our podcast, please let us know. Our DMs are open on all the social platforms. And folks, when you subscribe to our podcast, you help us to keep spreading the love in our community. And the best way to help this podcast grow is by sharing it with your friends and family.
Yes, Matt, that's right. And I don't have the script up.
I'll say it. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Maddie, that's right. We love you. We're so glad to know you. Be fans
Because
of
we
you.
love you.
The luxury of being fans of the most storied team in the NFL. We appreciate your support, subscriptions, and sharing our pod. I look forward to seeing you next week on.
How about when I did? Oh wait, what did I do during the game that made
Was
you
that?
laugh?
Was that right?
I lost my voice, you guys. Okay, sorry. I'm totally messing up this. I'm so sorry, Matt. But I couldn't scream because I lost my voice in the first 10 minutes. And so I did. But it worked. It was loud, right? It was effective.
It was
okay,
very
sorry.
And hilarious.
Okay.
I'll see you next time. Hey, we like your pod.
We'll see you again. Yes, next week on.
Hey, we like your pod. There we go.
Oh, I went too far. I got the Vikings extra. Oh my God, we don't want that.
Football in general comes down to discipline and people owning their roles. And when you aren't disciplined or you go outside the scheme, bad stuff